Bermane, I know there's great disappointment right now. What happened? It seems as though throughout the fight you were unable to cut off the ring.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't my night. I didn't feel 100%.
Yeah, enough of that garbage. Let's hear from the champ now.
Deontay, congratulations to you. It has been a long road for you. What does this moment mean to become the WBC heavyweight champion of the world?
First of all, I'd like to thank God, man. Without God, nothing is possible. If y'all give God a try, man, y'all will find out he all right. He all right, man. I'd like to thank Al Heyman. I'd like to thank Shelly Finger. I'd like to thank Golden Boy, the MGM Grand.
Okay, we think you got the point. And now let's get to our final point.
And now the first American boxer to win the heavyweight title in nearly a decade, the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah! That's right. And you heard it right. The new WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Thank God for the WBC part. That sounds a lot better than just saying, one of the heavyweight champions. Now we didn't do a post video right after the fight because we wasn't asked. And you know 10 players. If we ain't asked, we ain't doing. But a couple of people asked us to drop our thoughts on this one a short while ago, so before we get this rolling, we wanna send a 10 players holler out to JT86TN, and Sadie sexy lady on this one. We add the sexy lady part ourselves. But let's get to this Wilder Stiverne shit. Because we're loving this. This adds a whole new spice to the heavyweight division. Props to Stiverne though, because that motherfucker got a fucking pumpkin forehead noggin that can take some hellacious shots. Personally, if we was in his corner, we woulda stopped that shit unless he started doing a better job defending against that walnut he got for a head. Yeah. We know you casuals think that sounds ridiculous. Because you saw no blood. But that's the worst type of shit. When your brain swells or bleeds on the inside. Hit in the face is one thing. Constant bombs to the noggin for 12 rounds is another. Wilder tends to punch motherfuckers in the forehead constantly. That's a whole nother game. It's the type of shit where a fighter walks away looking stable, then wakes up dead. Hit the fucking hospital for a serious check after that. Because the term, rattle the brain, ain't no metaphor. So we hope that head's okay. But do you know why we played Stiverne's words first, then Wilder's? For the same reason the defending champ comes out second. We'd rather hear from the champ last at the end of a fight. Not first. No need to hear a guy talk about how he wasn't himself and needs to go back to the drawing board last. Hey. That's just our personal preference. We'd rather the end of a fight end with a bang hearing the champ's words last. But Wilder was impressive. He answered damn near every fucking question we had for him when it comes to the ring. Except one. We'll get to that shit in a minute. But he did his thing. We've seen a lot of guys lose their steam after the 9th. Or make it to the 12th then drop. Like Taylor. Wilder stayed fresh. Boxed smart as fucking hell. We haven't enjoyed a heavyweight fight in a long fucking time. And there was a few times he went for the knockout feeling he had Bermane hurt, then backed the fuck off rather than blowing his steam. Hey. No joke. We was worried every time he looked like he was going for the KO. Then we was like. Smart. Smart. He knew when to back the fuck off. Now there's a few things we don't hear a lot about when it comes to Wilder. And one is that he's fast. It's not acknowledged because he's not bouncing around like a pack throwing shit from every angle. That's a fast fighter. Wilder doesn't do that shit. Which would be ridiculous for his size even if he could. What he does do though is pick his moments to release, and lets that pool stick go. We just talked about that shit with Thurman. Wilder's got that pool stick jab, that feels like a fucking bat. That jab feels like power punches. We also watched Wilder pop back a couple of times and was impressed with how fast he did it. The next thing that impressed us about Wilder in this fight, which casuals would probably feel stupid, was his damn footwork. For the type of fighter he is. That shit wasn't bad. Great footwork depends on a fighter's style. No, he's not Ali, or Pernell Whitaker. But for a bomber, Wilder has decent footwork for that style. We touched a little on this with Thurman. but Wilder knows when to move and when to set his feet and become stationary. And when stationary when he needs to be, his opponent doesn't know when the shit's coming. Because Wilder's feet's already set and spread for throwing power. It's simple but effective. Wilder actually has a ring mind. I mean, we was also impressed with his defense. He ain't no Gamboa in the least. He'll put those hands up. Like, we was seriously impressed with this fight. He's still got shit to polish up, but you gotta realize Wilder faced a fucking knockout artist. Without hugging and clinching. And handled that shit well. We like knockouts, but his first fight without a knockout was the most impressive to us, because the others just left questions. This shit delivered answers. He also impressed us with his inside game in the end and smothering Stiverne's offense. Good shit. So who'd we like to see Wilder against next? Well, some of you gonna think this is silly. But we wanna see him face this guy. Yeah, we know. Bermane fucked this guy up. So what? We also saw this guy hurt Bermane. And he's a wilder shot thrower than Bermane. A different style. That would have been throwing shots in some situations where Bermane was just bobbing on the outside. Then we wanna see this. And if he gets past Fury, then this guy. That's if he gets past Jennings. Build it and this shit would work. We see few threats for Wilder. No motherfucking way Klitschko handles that jab. The man performs love making hugs on midgets that ain't got half the power. However, Klitschko actually can box. He's certainly capable of landing more than Bermane. And who the fuck knows? Vitaly might actually come out of retirement if Vlad gets an ass kicking. And there's that question Wilder still hasn't answered for us. Which is this? Can Wilder take a fucking punch? He answered nearly every question for us but that. We heard the media saying he proved he could. Well, he didn't prove that shit to us. So if a motherfucker gets hit 3 times in a fight he can take a punch. Damn. Like when we say a guy can take a punch. We don't literally mean being hit 1 time. Wilder hardly got hit in that fight. That's good shit. That should be the goal. But what he can take from a fighter consistently landing still in question. I mean, someone proved they can take a punch in that fight. But it sure the fuck wasn't Wilder. Like, if Wilder got hit with all the exact same shots he hit Stiverne with, would he really fucking be standing? But he fought a great fight. From what we see, it's gonna take some fast fighter with power who can do it on the inside and outside to give him that possible work. If Wilder has a chin, we see no threats. That's the only thing we still question. But this is the guy with that style. And even though we crack on him at times, we still recognize the skills few do. Because in our view, he'd be a serious test if he's really coming back. And seriously coming back in shape. But for now, we want the new WBC champ to enjoy what he's achieved. Props to Wilder. Impressive shit. Enjoy, because we sure the fuck are. So until our next one. Peace. We're out.